Hey, you're not on TikTok. Where you at?
Did you send me an invite on TikTok?
I don't have to. Remember, you get into the thing and you do the thing. I can't send you the invite if you're not there.
Are you live on TikTok even? I didn't even see a notification.
Yeah, I'm live on TikTok. You see this guy?
All right. I'm with
All
you
right,
now.
guys. Welcome to the Breakpoint. We are on live on TikTok and on YouTube. We have Coach C, we have Coach A, and then we have
Hello.
damn good average bowler. That is a hell of a name.
Thank you. How y'all doing today?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. And yourself, man?
Doing good, sir. Appreciate you having me on here. This is like my official first one of being on somebody else's podcast.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
you're normally the hosts.
Yeah.
There's the
This
All
is
right,
nice.
and you've been invited, so you're in now. So this is your
Yeah.
first official, huh?
Yeah.
Well, that's good. I'm glad I actually went and checked you out, man. You're not bad.
Hey, I appreciate it.
Yeah,
You know,
I mean, you
it's
better
kind
than
of like my hat says right here, 1% better every day. That's my motto.
yeah. That makes you 3% better than him.
I don't know
Hey,
about all that.
what's the score? What's the score, see?
Is it? There ain't no score.
Oh, really? You
Yeah,
sure about that?
yeah.
You
Let's
want me to
drop the
bring up the
footage.
video? I
Let's drop
know
the
it's a
footage.
painful
Let's
video.
do it. You send it. I'll play it.
You have it too. Don't play.
Hey, listen. Once upon a time, I was at Kegel, and I went to bowl A, but I mean, I didn't get no practice. I just had to go in cold turkey. He got the whole game of practice, so he wants to hold that over my head. But I'm gonna have to go back down there just to beat on him.
We're waiting.
Hey, I mean, I'm waiting for you to get better. Hey, are you on? So you're in the TikTok. Can you hear everything good? Mute one and listen to TikTok. Make sure we're good.
All right, hold on. Let me mute this one.
Well, I can only be on one, so I'm
No.
I'm living vicariously through y'all.
You're good because I'm gonna make it so that they can hear you through both.
Okay. Awesome.
All
You
right,
see
I
what I'm
hear you
saying?
on TikTok.
You can.
Yeah, can you hear
Can
me?
you? Can you? Well, I got mine turned down. Can you hear him on TikTok? Say something.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's actually sounds good.
All right, perfect. See how we rolling?
See?
All right.
All right.
So today's topic on the breakpoint, we're gonna go over a couple things. The first thing we're gonna go over is, hey, we're gonna do it reverse. We was gonna do the yo-yo release first. Actually, let's do that first. All right. So I released a video last night about the yo-yo release. And I believe it or not, I've been bombarded with questions in regards to the yo-yo release. Hey, turn down the volume on your phone.
On my phone?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I can hear the echo.
So can I.
What do you hear?
We can hear the echo from it. There you go. So they can hear us, but we don't need to hear that because we can hear each other on this. Okay, so I released a video yesterday. I've been bombarded with questions, which is pretty good. So the first question we're gonna go over is when you're doing the yo-yo release. A lot of people think that loading up the ball and cupping the ball are the same thing. So before I address this, coach, average damn bowler, damn good bowler. Hey, do you guys have anything to say before I address it?
Go ahead, Adam.
Mike?
No, you
you want
go
me to go?
first. No, you
All right,
go
hang on.
for it.
Get the-
Mike, do you know the difference between loading up
All right. Can you see
and
the ball?
Well, considering my rev rate's low, I don't know anything about loading it up.
What's your rev rate, Mike?
Dude, I'm been considered a tweener for a long time.
Okay. So that's good. So that Adam went and got a ball, which is even better because what we're going to do is we're actually going to show the difference between loading up, right? And see, people on TikTok can't see it. People on YouTube can. So if you're on a TikTok live and you want to see, pop into the YouTube live really quick, and you can see the load up. Actually, they can if you get into the thing. We can make what?
My camera's on a TikTok isn't that great. I don't know if he'll be able to see it. Let me try. Hold on.
Can I make you bigger over there? Can I switch that?
It's that green screen.
Expand. There we go. All right, there we go. Okay, perfect. So now we have you on TikTok and on YouTube all together. So a lot of people have questions. Is loading up? Oh, dude, you're in and out of your green screen. You look like a ghost. That's awesome. Okay, so a lot of people don't know the difference. But believe it or not, there is a gang of difference. One of them you're actually using and triggering your wrist, your forearm, tricep, bicep. You're using all of that when you're cupping. When you're loading, you're not using any of it. Loading is just a hand position. It looks like it's cupped from one side, but it's actually not. You're just loading up. So when you cup the ball, and Adam's going to show you, your thumb goes towards your forearm. When you're loading the ball, your thumb actually goes away from your forearm. It actually goes to the wall to your right. If you're left-handed, it goes to the wall to your left. What you're doing is you're loading up. You see my fingers? You're loading up so you can roll out of the ball. That's all that is. So that's where the difference lies. And as soon as Adam stops being a ghost, he can show us.
All right, I'm going to go on TikTok first because the camera's down below.
Okay, go ahead.
If you hear me swear a lot, it means I dropped the ball on my foot. All right, so this right here, this is cupping, right? This is putting strain.
Wait, Adam, do that again, but hold the ball up a little bit. Up. There you go. Now cup it. Okay, that's cupping the ball.
Flat wrist, this is cupped. The cupping is moving your wrist in towards you, almost like imagine playing football, right? And you want to hold the ball close when you're running. Same concept. Basically, your wrist wraps around the ball. That's a cup. See that? All right. Now, can you see it on YouTube?
Oh yeah, I can see it. No, you're doing
Cup, not cup.
Yep.
This hurts a whole lot. This does not. Okay.
All right, and for those of you that can't see it because of how he got it, here is Coach again. We'll do YouTube, then TikTok. Let me switch them back, and I don't know how, because there we go. Okay, so I'm gonna do cupped first. This is cupped, where you rock the ball back to your forearm. That is cupping. Okay, so for you on YouTube, cupping. You see this? I just roll it straight back. That's cupping. Roll it straight back. So it's not flat wrist. It's back again. Okay, and back here, when you rock it back, that's cupping, right? When I'm loading the ball, you see that where my thumb is? My thumb is not here. My thumb is to the side. That's me loading the ball. You see that? My thumb isn't straight back. My thumb is to the side. That's loading the ball. That means when my thumb exits, my fingers are wrapping up the bottom of the ball all the way through it. That's what that does. Does that make sense? If I need to so did that make sense? I load the ball. So I'm not cupping it. Ow, that hurts. Ow. Okay, I'm just loading the ball. So then when I exit, my fingers wrap up and around the ball. That's what loading the ball is. So for those of you who aren't sure about that, that's what that does. Now, somebody asked me, Coach, well, what about axis rotation when you want to throw the ball left? Well, the reality is hand position. You see my hand? Hand position, right? Hand position. Turning the hand is all you got to do to change the position of adding axis rotation to it. So what that looks like is instead of my hand, so I'm always flat and straight, right? So what I do is I tilt my hand just a little bit inside. You with me? And when I'm rolling out of the ball, I'm loading it again. And I'm coming out of the ball again in my fingers. So you can see it are wrapping up and around the ball. And I'm getting out around the side. So when you see a release where the fingers are coming up above the equator, right? And the hand is around the side of the ball, that's what somebody's doing. They're adding more axis rotation to it. Now, if you see somebody release the ball and camera angle and their hand is flat behind the ball, they're just coming straight up behind it. But if you see their hand off to the side and their fingers wrap around this way, they're adding more axis rotation. And same for you guys. If the hand is right behind the ball, they're coming straight up the back of it. If they're around the side of it, they're adding more axis rotation to it. And each time that the thumb wants to come out first, remember thumb first, and you guys can see this too, thumb first. All right, now we got that out the way. Any questions? Your signal keeps dropping. Oh, driving through West Virginia. I love West Virginia. And watch the replay, Kelly. It's okay. So, any other questions in regards to, man, people still dropping stuff?
I can't see the YouTube chat, so.
No, it's not the YouTube chat. I'm getting a whole lot of people are still watching the video. So when they're watching the video, I'm getting a whole lot of questions.
No.
So I tried to get everybody to. No, okay. So in it, wait 1 second. In the chat, Baby Golf asks, is coming around the side of the ball necessarily a bad thing? No, it's not. If you're going to be left like me, if I'm anywhere left of 25, I'm going to put rotation on the ball, which means I'm going to come around the side a little more. That's just what I need to do to get the ball to do what I want it to.
And that's standing on 25, yeah?
Yeah. So yes, that's what I'm going to do. If I'm going to be going left, I'm going to be adding axis rotation to it. That way the ball stands up sooner, get into its roll sooner. Because I'm looking for it to get through the pins. But also, just so you know, that's also where surface comes into play. Because I want the ball to pick up where I want it to pick up to get through the pins the way I need it to. All that works together. And also, yes, if you're going to try to use a rev rate, if you're going to try to increase your rev rate, this is definitely the way to do it. And also remember, increasing your rev rate also increases the shape that you're going to get. I mean, that's just a fact. So these are things that you have to consider when you're looking to elevate your rev rate. It will have more shape to it. No problem, man. If you have any other questions, let me know. If you want to jump want to jump in and ask it, you can jump in and ask the question as opposed to typing it. We're okay with that too. Hey, do you have anything to say in regards to what the question was?
I was just going to ask you for examples of when you would use one versus the other, but you kind of covered that. Now, when would you use less rotation?
The further right I am.
Okay. So playing straighter?
Yeah, the straighter I am, the more up the back of the ball I want to be, and I want to have a really soft hand at the bottom. I don't want to hit up on it as much. Because as you know, if you hit it, the more you hit up on it, the more it's going to turn left, which creates a problem. Well, it also depends on the volume too.
What is hitting up on it for the viewers?
Hitting up on the ball is, See, okay, so there's two types of hit up on it. Let's not confuse the two. The first type of hitting up on it is when people tend to try to lift up on the ball. That's bad. That's not what I mean. What I mean by hitting up on the ball is me getting underneath the equator more, giving it more rotation.
Okay.
Does that make sense to everybody?
Kind of. Mike, what are your thoughts?
I completely agree. It's pretty basic. See, one thing about me you're going to learn is I'm very simplistic. If you guys have seen any of my TikToks, I try to keep them as simplistic as possible when I'm talking about the technical stuff.
Good. So do we.
Yep.
We try to make
That's
it.
what got me. That's what got me with Adam in the first place is because, like, literally, I posted a video one time. I was like, "Hey, literally, coach me. Tell me what you think." And everybody was like throwing like little comments left and right. But Adam actually went in there and wrote a thesis for me, and I mean that with respect too. I'm not being no, but he wrote a thesis for me, and I literally looked at all that, and I was like, "Wow, yep, he's not wrong about any of this stuff." So,
Nah, he's very
That
good
was
at
a
it.
short version.
Hey, so I got a question that we're going to get to, and I'm sorry if I get in the middle of what we're saying to ask questions. I would like to get them out there. If people are going to type them in, then we should follow them. You know, it says, "Do you break your wrist as the ball comes, as the thumb comes out the ball?" And I think that's what he's pretty much asking, Mr. Speedy. So, anybody want to take a shot at this?
Sure. Simple
Go for
answer
it,
is yes. Hold on, let me get my prop. Nope, that one doesn't have a thumb. All right, is this person on TikTok or YouTube?
He's on YouTube.
All right.
We have not had a question on TikTok yet, but that's okay. We're going to take them as they come in.
All right. So you see everything on YouTube?
Yep.
Not ghosting too much? Okay. So this is hard to do, but as you're coming forward, right?
Up, ball up. That ball's got to be up.
Ball's got, oh God.
Yep, there you go.
Let me blow my, I'll do that in a minute. This is going to be harder, higher, but okay.
You got this.
As you're coming forward, right? See how my wrist is flat right now? When you say release, you're literally just letting the ball go. So your thumb should be straight, right? Inside, it's going to come out, and as it comes out, your wrist is naturally going to come back, and then you're going to send the ball forward. So you're flat here, your thumb comes out, naturally it's going to go forward, and your fingers are going to stay in it and continue usually until they're about on the top of the ball.
Yep.
it's usually why the ring finger has all that pounds per square inch at the most.
Below, yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully I said that right, but I think Adam knew what I was trying to get to.
Yep, 100%. You're right.
Yeah. So yes, the answer to that is you do break the wrist. But okay, so for me, I like to say this. The hand. I like to say this is positive position. This is neutral. This is negative. When you're releasing the ball in the yo-yo, when you're loading up, right? You're still neutral. When you're releasing out of that, you're still neutral. And then as the thumb releases, you get into the negative.
Yep.
You just, because you're holding all that weight. But here's the coolest part about the weight that you're holding, you don't feel it.
Right.
Because it's all gravity at that point. So as you're wrapping around the ball, it's all gravity.
Yeah, inertia's already taken over, and motion is carrying everything forward instead of down. So you're not going to feel a pull on your wrist and your forearm. Because instead of gravity pulling you down, now inertia and energy is pulling everything forward.
Okay, so I'm reading in the chat, and Baby Golf says to Speedy, he says, I can't do the Daria Pychek yo-yo release. Well, nobody else can either because the elbow that she has is so double jointed that it looks funky, and it's very complicated to get your body into that position. I know one person that can do that, and that's AB, because she's also double jointed in the same way Daria is. But Daria is pretty mean at it.
There's one guy in the PBA that does that as well. I can't remember his name. It's Jeff something or other. But he does the same thing where his elbow actually, it's double jointed, so it unlocks when they're in the backswing. And then because it's unlocked, he can bend it a lot more at the bottom.
Yeah, they can do that. They can do that too, and it's insane. Okay, so another question is, what does the location of your index finger or pinky have on the release?
Ooh, That's a good one. That's saucy.
All right, who won it?
Mike?
Well, I can tell you what it does for me. So the more spread out I can have my hand in the ball, usually I'm decreasing my rev rate that way, and I'm able to play more straighter. But for me, normally, like my pinky's tucked, which is why I have arthritis, because I tuck my pinky, and I'm actually getting used to kind of untucking my pinky now, just so I can combat the arthritis, which is right in this area right here. But for me, the more spread out I can do, yeah, I'm just talking about me personally, but the more spread out I can have, the more I can actually play more up the boards and a little bit more up the back of it.
Okay.
Now,
Adam?
do you think that changes your actual rev rate, or is that just changing your rotation and possibly your tilt?
It's probably a little bit of both, I would presume. Because
Yeah.
I have a lot, like being a tweener, the disadvantage of being a tweener is when the lanes are oily, you can play up the boards and your speed can kind of be a little bit in between mid to high, which I throw it hard anyway. But when the outside breaks down and I have to move in, I pretty much have relegated myself to just trying to hit the pocket and whatever happens, happens.
Okay.
Oh. Well, I'll tell you this, Mike. It's more along the lines of your axis tilt.
Mm-hmm.
Then I don't foresee that lowering or raising. For me, it wouldn't lower my rev rate because believe it or not, I never tuck my pinky ever.
Yeah.
I've never done it even once. It's uncomfortable for me, so I won't do it.
I understand. Like I said, I'm fighting arthritis now, so I totally get it.
When I start, I'm really spread, which my rev rate is still in the 400s, and then as I move left, I tend to bring in my pinky and increase my finger so that I'm able to get around the ball a little more.
Yeah. Oh no, and that makes sense too. That makes complete sense. I'm just like from my eyes and what I'm seeing as far as like whenever I roll the ball, which I'm gonna tell you, I haven't rolled a ball since August 12th, and when I get off here and I get out here to try to bowl, everything might change. you know how your axis point and everything changes over time. It might be another change again.
Right.
Yeah. But that's another good point. People got to realize that they need to be checking their PAP from time to time, and they also need to be checking their fit, making sure that their pitches aren't changed, and also changing their grips because a lot of people don't do that at all. And those are things that bowlers can do as good practices to make sure that they stay on top of their game.
That's what we recommend in the pro shop. I tell everybody, if you have it bowled in the summer, bring your stuff in and let's check it, and let's check your dexterity of your grip and everything. Let's make sure.
I got a question for you. You're a pro shop operator, right?
Yes, sir.
How often do you get say a new bowler comes to your pro shop? Do you go get his PAP?
No, and I'll tell you why. Because they are all over the place as a beginner. And that's usually why the manufacturers, and again, this is from my experience, y'all may disagree, and that's totally good because we're all here to learn. But I usually recommend that I'm a traditionalist. I like to start from the bottom and work our way up. And I tell people all the time, hey, work on your spare game. Do this. Like, get really good at it and get consistent. Then come back. Then let's put you in fingertip. Then let's work on some basics.
Before you do fingertips, do you get the PAP?
After they have done it for a couple of months, yes. Because usually at that point, you've worked with them, you've coached them, and you've got them to where they need to be, and they're a little bit more consistent.
Okay. At what point do you get their axis tilt and axis rotation?
I mean, usually like right around the time when you're getting their axis point, that's usually when I get everything. And we keep them on index cards.
So you do use all of it, though?
Yes.
Well, congratulations to you because you're one of the very few who still don't use that 5 and 1 up, 5 and 1 down.
Oh, yeah. No, you're talking, yeah.
You know what I'm
like
talking
I said,
about.
I've never been like, when I was being trained, and God, we're talking like 2007. When I was being trained, I had two supervisors. One was very simplistic. One was like, it was very easy to read stuff. And the other one was very technical. You guys can obviously see which way I went. I went with the more simplistic.
All right, so we got another question by Drew. What is the difference between having your elbow locked in your arm swing compared to not having it locked?
Mm.
I don't know why you, man. Yeah.
In which part of the arm swing?
I would imagine going backwards.
Oh, I would never want to bend it in the backswing. I have seen people do that before, but to me that looks really painful.
It's the people trying to learn how to curve the ball. They've got this misconception that they're being able to load it up and their elbow is like cocked in instead of just having a free lance arm swing, which that's another thing too as far as coaching. That's in of itself a task of its own.
Okay, so yeah, okay. Yes, you are right. Yeah, no, I. Oh, now but wait, there's a piece to this puzzle though that a lot of people have as a misconception. When you're swinging the ball and you're up at your backswing, you see how I'm on flat. You're supposed to be rocking now. If you're going to get underneath the ball anyway, it helps you. It helps the bend to get underneath the ball. So I would never be locked in any position. I would be bad. Just like, for example, in the yo-yo release, I need to get this out there too. When you're coming forward, you don't push your elbow out, man. You'll blow your elbow out. You rock out of it. It's like you're landing a plane, you know? You're rolling out of the ball. It's just rolling out of it. That's why you don't cup, because when you cup the ball, it forces you to eject your elbow. And that's gonna cause so much pain. And once it starts, it's really difficult to get rid of. So again, we rock out of the ball. You're rolling out of the ball. In part 2 of the video, we're going to go over that big time because I am making a part 2 to the yo-yo release. We're going to go over that in detail because again, the goal of this is to do things the right way the first time. If you learn it the right way, you don't have to relearn it later. Okay.
Right.
It says, I notice a lot of bowlers. I notice that some bowlers angle their wrists either inwards or outwards from their bodies. Did that change the projection? No, that's actually loading up the ball.
That can also change your axis tilt.
Correct.
Slightly.
Well, it depends on. See, to the person that's asking that, Grandpa, are they loading it? Are they loading it up that you seeing? Because this is loading the ball to get out of it, to help your release, to smooth out your release. The other way is just turning it in and out. That actually changes your axis rotation, which gets you around the side of the ball more or less. If you guys have any other questions, please don't hesitate to ask you more. Again, I'm going to be making a part 2 to yo-yo release because there's other parts of it that we have not covered yet. And I need to make sure that for those who are learning it, those are the beginning steps. Like coming down from the top of your swing, that'll help your elbow bend, which will help you be underneath the ball, which would help you when you're loading up to exit. Those are little steps that you're going to take to get you from part A to B to B to C to release. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So doing everything in steps. That way, if there's questions, I can answer those before we get to the next part. Is it better to start flat under the ball or a little to the side of the ball? Okay, so let's do this. When you're starting, the ball should, number one, let's do this. Number one, the ball should be between your shoulder and your chin when you're starting. So there are some people who start with their hand here, which is around the side of the ball, and there's some people that start flat under the ball. For me, it's about preference. I can start either way. However, I prefer to be under the ball when I start. But here's a better part. And this is the part that gets missed by a ton of people. So whether you're on TikTok or YouTube, I need you to pay attention to this because this can help your game a lot of ways. When you're loading up the ball and you're getting ready to go throw, it's a matter of loading up, getting comfortable, taking your breath, and go. It's just that simple. We all do it, right? However, what your misconception is when you're loaded up this way and the ball is between here and here, the ball should be pointed at your target. So, say for example, I'm at 25 and I'm going to go 12 to 5. This ball should be pointed at your break point. This ball should be positioned so it's facing 5. Then when you swing, your swing will take you straight to your break point. That's how you help your accuracy. Now, here's the funny thing, right? A ton of us know it but don't use it, but that's actually the accurate way of setting up in your approach. Any questions? Did you know that, damn good bowler?
Mm-hmm.
I know, hey, I know you know that. Now, let me ask you this, damn good bowler. How often do you practice?
I don't practice a whole lot.
See, that's,
You know why? You want to know why? It's hard to practice when you're a pro shop operator.
oh, I
Because
bet.
everybody thinks they have 24/7 access to you.
Ooh, I didn't think of it that way.
Oh, so when
See,
you're
now-
practicing, they come and ask questions, and
Dude,
you drill this.
have you
and like
guys
that?
not seen my segments I've posted? If you get a chance, watch those. There's like 7 or 8 volumes. They come and talk to you when you are practicing. They think you're on the clock. I had a guy come up and ask me to drill him a ball when I was in the middle of a roll off one night.
That's funny.
Oh my god!
Yeah. I would love to practice more. I really would. And I encourage everybody. That's the number one thing is practice, practice, practice.
When you bowl though, do you use that?
Do I say that again? Do I use what?
When you're bowling, when you're at league, and you're just randomly focused on what you're doing,
Mm-hmm.
do you line the ball up to your target, to your break point?
Yes. Sorry, I'm on board with you now.
No,
Absolutely.
because-
You're looking at your target.
See, but you
And-
can look at your target, but the ball not set up there because I'm guilty of it a lot. Trust me when I tell you.
Yeah. No, I know exactly what you're saying. Yeah. Now I don't look. I can tell you this. There's some people that look at the target at the arrows, and there's some people that look at the target down lane.
Well, the ball should always be at your target down. It should always be at your break point, not your immediate target.
Yeah, and that's again, I've run into that, especially when you're giving lessons. Like that's the first thing. Some people look at the dots, some people look at the arrows, and some people look at the target down lane. And as you know, being able to give those lessons, you have to change. You have to change up how you coach people, which you're going to change up your coaching style anyway.
Right. But I look at my mark, but my ball should always be positioned for my break point. I know where I'm looking down the lane past the mark anyway. So, somebody asked another question. He says, I'm a 200 average bowler, speed dominant with moderate amount of hand. I have very little axis tilt. In general, should I buy asim or symmetrical? Buddy, it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. Depends on what you're bowling on. Depends on what you're trying to do. I mean, if you're just bowling if you're bowling a house shot as opposed to tournaments, I don't think it really matters. If you want a bigger window, I'll probably go symmetrical.
How speed dominant is this person? Can we get speed versus rev rate numbers?
You hear
In the
that?
chat?
You hear that, baby golf? Yep. Can we get speed versus rev rate numbers? But how
Just
many people actually know their rev rate?
Just an estimate. I mean, if he knows the speed and he thinks he's a low rev rate, then I can kind of guess the area of his rev rate.
I can tell you this: if your lane surface has got a lot to do with that too. I've noticed that.
Absolutely. But you're a speed dominant player, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you prefer?
When I was younger, I was matched up a lot better with symmetrics, but the older I've gotten, I have become more adamant about asymmetrics.
Asymmetric. See, I'm the opposite. I'm a big symmetric guy, but I use symmetrical when I'm moving left, asim when I'm moving left, because it'll get around the corner a little tighter. Yeah. Okay, so how you doing, Jeff? And then he said that he's 16 mile an hour, 16.4 at about 350 rep. That make him balanced.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that looks pretty balanced to me.
Yeah, you're balanced, so you can throw it all. It depends on what you're looking for, what kind of shape you want.
Yeah, 350 is not low.
No, it's not. And 16 ain't fast.
Well, it ain't
Yeah,
slow either, though.
try 18, 19 miles an hour with about 275 to 300, and you're in that range with me.
See, I'm gonna have to borrow a little bit of that arm of yours, man. Brother, get a look.
You don't want this arm. Like I said, this stuff, like, this is the thing. It's like, I don't call myself a house hack for nothing.
That's funny.
Listen,
Listen, man.
But that's the thing about it. Like, working in a pro shop, I mean, again, we're lucky to get 3 to 6 games a week. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. It's just, it is what it is. And, and what I said earlier, it's not a bad thing either. It's just the nature of the beast.
So you're full-time pro shop operator?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I have been with Bowling World for 17, almost 18 years now.
So you're in the shop from what, like 8 to 4, 8 to 5, somewhere like that, right?
Oh, no. Try like 12 to 8.
Yeah, I was going to say, if his hours close to our pro shop hours, it's like that too.
Yeah.
The best thing I ever did was going to Kegel and learn how to drill. Best thing I ever did. Best thing I also did is not work in a pro shop.
I did a 5-day seminar with Jeff Usery back in 2007. And it was when it was up at it's 10 Pin Alley now, but it was Galaxy Lanes. Ebonite was actually running it, and that's where the Robbie's plant was. And that was in Columbia, Tennessee.
Hey, Corey, I agree with you. I would consider that matched, or I would consider that balanced. It depends on your verbiage, but they're the same thing. When do you change from a pearl ball to a symmetrical ball, or vice versa?
That's a big question.
The pearl could be symmetrical or asymmetrical. Yeah. So
that's why it's a little bit weird.
Right.
Yeah.
So maybe he meant, when do you switch from a pearl to a solid, or solid to a pearl? That depends on you. It depends on what you're seeing. There's times where I start with a pearl and I end with a solid. There's times I start with a solid, end with a pearl. It depends on what you're seeing out there, I guess.
And if you really want to freak some people out, bring old urethane to the mix.
Brunswick and Phil did a podcast that explains what balls you should look for when matching up your game: speed dominant, matched, or rev dominant, etc.
Right.
He was meaning solid versus pearl. Listen, matching up. Okay, let me see this. This is what I will tell you. As a YouTuber, this is what I will say. It is the hardest thing in the world for me to match someone up to a ball if I don't see them bowling. I don't, even if you know they're rev dominant, if you know they're matched, if you know they're speed dominant, it does not matter, because you don't know their house conditions, you don't know their conditions, there's too many variables. That's why referring them to their pro shop operator is probably the best business, because that pro shop operator knows the lanes, number one. He can take the bowler out and watch them bowl, number two. So he would get a better idea of what's what. Now, can you watch us throw balls down the lane and get an idea of how they read? Because a ball's going to do what it's going to do. It might be different degrees of shape, but nevertheless, it's still going to be the same shape. So can you learn from that? Yes. Can we give you tips? Yes. But can we 100% tell you what ball to go to? And I don't care if you get Brunswick or somebody on from, they can't either, because they don't know your house. They don't know you.
Right.
You're a pro shop operator. What do you think about that?
No, again, we know what house we're in. It's like I tell people all the time. Like we've got AMF HPL lane surfaces here, and if you guys have bowled on any of those, you know those are high friction. Those are high friction surfaces. And it's kind of surprising with me because at one time or another, I was using symmetric pearls, matching up the best of symmetric pearls, drilling them with 2.5-inch pins. Now I'm using asymmetrical pearls with 5-inch pins. Again, everything evolves.
Yeah.
Everything evolves.
But that's why it's so important for us to give them good information and tell them go see your personal operator when it comes to your lanes, because again, we don't know your lanes, we don't know your style, your timing, how much hand you have in it or don't have. Most people don't know if they're speed dominant, rev dominant, or whatsoever, and that's not a knock on them. It's just to us who do work in a pro shop, that's important information. But that's why anytime somebody will bring a ball to me, I'm gonna check everything again anyway, because I don't depend on the next guy to have done it right. And I'm not knocking the next guy. It's better if I do it on my own. And thank you, Corey. And I agree with you. And okay, Adam, you're gonna answer this one.
Uh-oh.
No, solid. When to throw a solid or a pearl. And Jeff, we'll get to your question in 1 second. No, Corey, you're good. You're absolutely good, dude. I like you helping out. You can even jump in live if you want to. I'll put the link in if you like. Adam, when is it better to use a solid or a pearl? When is it better to get in or out of a solid or a pearl?
Are you asking me as a lefty or as a righty?
And Drew said for me to tell everybody that I'm old.
Drew, you're absolutely right.
You know what, Adam? I'm a mute your.
Okay, that's fair. I'll stop.
Anyway, yes, I am old now. I'm officially 49 years old. Okay. Now, with that being said, Adam answered that question. Okay, wait a minute. Mr. Jones, left-handed or right-handed? Probably gonna go right-handed, I'm thinking.
Okay. So this is tricky. So I would say early on, depending on the amount of friction you have at your house and how much they oil the lanes, I would say on the fresh, at least in practice, I would start solid. So my first ball down the lane, if I'm right-handed, I'm naturally left-handed and then two-handed, so all this is different. But if I'm talking to a right-hander, what? Why are you giving me that look?
I'm not. I'm doing that to the person in the chat. That was dirty, man. Tom T said, I don't even know if I can coach. He said, I don't even know if I can trust coach. He drafted Jalen Hurts.
That's fair.
Dang, yeah. Adam, you too? He was my number 1 draft pick.
You know who mine was?
You don't know yet.
No idea, because I can't get logged in. So hopefully the AI does a good job this season.
No, all right, Drew said tell everybody from both hands.
From both hands. Okay. So from right, actually, it's probably going to be similar. From right, I'm probably going solid off the rip. And by off the rip, I mean first shots in practice. And the way I like to gauge the lanes is first shot is going up 10. That shot, or not 10, I'm sorry, 5. Going up the 5 board. And that shot is going to tell me kind of an idea of what the lanes are doing, right? So if I throw the shot up 5 and it goes to the 4 pin, I know I'm in the wrong zone or the wrong area of the lane. So I'm automatically moving at least 5 in, maybe even 10. If it's...
Hey, there's a link if anybody wants to jump in. They can. I just sent the link in the chat. Go ahead. Hey, sorry.
Okay, so assuming that happens, because usually it does on a house shot because most of the oil's on the inside. So assuming that happens, I'm probably going to move 10 in. So instead of going over 5, now I'm going somewhere between 12 and 15-ish. And if I can get that solid close, then I'm good. If that solid starts leaving lazy 10 pins, then I'm probably going to change. But I always start with the solid because the solid, to me, at least, again, as a right-hander, is that control piece. and the solid may not have the motion or the back end that a lot of the pearls are going to have. It's not going to have a lot of the flip, but it's going to be able to control the pocket, which means it's going to keep you close. And my goal, especially in competitive situations, is to try to stay near that pocket, make the pocket as big as it can, and try to get 9 every ball. That's my goal. As a right-hander.
As a lefty?
As a lefty, on a house shot, I'm probably going to do something similar, but the solid's going to be weaker. So on the right side, it would be kind of a big symmetric to start out with, something like a phase 2, something like an idle. What's a strong symmetric in the Brunswick lineup?
Even though it says low flare, I would say the Scorpion low flare.
Yeah. Something in that neighborhood. Yeah. And as a lefty, I'm going to go weaker. I'm going to go weaker in core and weaker in cover. So I'm going to drop down to like a Venom Shock or an IQ Tour. Envy Tour would probably be one of my favorites. Black Venom, something with a little bit less core and a little bit less cover, because everything hooks 10 times more on the left side.
Look, I'm easy, okay? They don't call me Easy C for nothing. I'm just going to take my benchmark and roll it up 10. If it works, no, I'm sorry, my benchmark, roll it up 5. If it tells me everything I need to know. If it doesn't go anywhere, then I'm a ball up. If it goes thing, I'm a ball down. And there we go. I'm ready to roll. I'm easy. You see how that is? Tonight, I'm going to do the same thing with my benchmark. And then, I don't care what it tells me. I'm throwing my magic gem.
So in which reaction for that benchmark do you then change? Which ball? When do you make the ball change?
I would change depending on exactly what I'm seeing right then. If I'm seeing, if it overhooked, then I'm changing. If it's a little light, I might keep it and just move a hair a bit to the left, to the right. I mean, it depends on what I'm seeing. Depends on how it looks. Because you got to remember, when I roll a ball, I know what I want to see. See, that's the difference. I know where I want my ball to move in the mid lane. That's just like, I don't know about you, Mike, but when I throw a shot, if I throw it and I hit what I'm looking at, I know if I'm going to leave a 10 pin or not before I leave.
Nah, I ain't that good. I ain't that good. I'll give you that.
I'm telling you. I mean, but then again, I mean, for my YouTube channel, I throw a lot of balls. I mean, a lot of balls.
Like
so, what'd you say?
I said like almost all of them.
Yeah, I throw a lot. I throw almost every ball. So, by doing that, I get an idea of what I'm looking for. And that's how I know. Like my boy Drew, watching him so much, I know that when he let it go, I can tell you if he's going to carry, if he ain't. I can tell you because I watch him so much, and you get used to seeing it. Like, okay, that didn't pick up in the mid lane, and then he'll come back, and I'll be like, you ain't hit that at the bottom. He'll be like, nah, it brought the grow too forward, or it got out my hand a little too early. It just sometimes you just know. Let's get to a couple of these questions. If a solid hooks too much, what do you do? What do you go to, or what do you do? One or the other one. And then he said, what solid the hazmat soul? Is there a hazmat soul?
No, he's talking about hazmat solid.
Oh, okay.
Or for those out there, the 2016 scandal.
Oh, no, I think it's the solid, hazmat solid.
No, I'm just saying, if you look at the numbers, that ball versus the scandal from 2016 are practically the same.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
See,
they might be within like 0.01 or 0.001 differential RG-wise, but.
See, for me, using a hazmat solid is tricky because it's like a benchmark to me. But the Cypher and the hazmat, they're like throwing the same ball. Just, I don't know if you had that experience with them, but they're like the identical balls.
I did not match up very well with the hazmats, either one of them. Now, I will tell you, benchmark is good as a game breaker.
Oh, and the Game Breaker 5?
Oh, yeah.
See, I didn't match up with that one real well.
See, I didn't think I was going to match up with it very well either because it's a solid, but I drilled it a lot weaker for the very part of considering the, like I said, AMF HPL lane surface. I went with like 5.5. It's literally like pin above middle finger for me, based on my axis point. And at first, it still rolled way too strong. But as soon as I got a little bit of lane shine on it, that ball really came to life.
See, for me, that hazmat, I can start with that hazmat feet on 15 and straight up the back of it, and then be in it, my feet on 37, getting way around it. That ball, hey, you see me throw that thing.
Yep.
But
Hazmat and Cypher.
Yeah, but that and the Cypher, though, I'm telling you, for me, they're identical. It's weird. And it's weird, too, that I don't throw them. I mean, I go to league, I never throw them. It's weird. The damnedest thing, I'm a magician with them. Just don't throw them.
Red's got a pretty good arsenal here.
Who?
Red. I'm looking at his comment.
Oh, you can see the comments. Adam can't, though.
I can see the TikTok, but I can't see the YouTube chat.
Oh, okay. I can see the YouTube chat then.
See, okay, that makes sense. Tom said he can only tell when he's going to leave a 10 pin when he throw urethane. That's probably because you leave a 10 pin every other shot.
I mean, if you, like I said, that's what I tell people. What I tell people all the time about urethane. Some people that I have encountered in the shop have had this idea in their head that they should use urethane to start. And I was like, well, as long as you don't mind it like hooking at your feet and sitting to the pocket, then you're gold.
Corey's my new best friend.
As long as you're okay with that, then that's great. That mission accomplished.
Corey's my new best friend. Hey, you got to step aside, man.
Uh-oh. What did Corey do?
Corey said if the hazmat solid ain't working for you, go to the Arctic Vibe.
Oh. Look, I've got 4.
Arctic Vibe guy.
Yeah. Oh no, hey, I'm all about the Arctic Vibe too. That's like the number 4 ball in my arsenal.
Hey, you're being replaced, bro. Look at all these Arctic Vibe guys.
You don't like the Arctic Vibe, Adam?
It reminds me. It must be something with the vibes. It reminds me of the nuclear vibe. It's something with the colors, and I just.
Okay, I
feel
give
like
you this. Okay, the ocean vibe.
734 with a urethane grenade. Is that a ball?
Yeah.
What's up, Sean?
Old too. That's what I'm talking about.
Is it really?
Dude, I'm sure they got. Dude, I'll tell you this, okay? I re-drilled a guy brought in, one of my best friends brought into me a old 1978 Bleeder Columbia yellow dot.
Nice.
And I plugged it.
Oh, we lost him.
Uh-oh. Technical difficulties.
I'm still trying to get you to do that Forge video for me, man. What's up? You gonna do the Forge or what? Adam said that he don't think you can do a ball review.
What? Who said that? I did not say that about Drew. Don't lie. He gaslighting me. I'm the one who told you he should be the one that does the Sub-Zero.
Yeah, he did say you should do it.
100%.
I think you should do it too. I ain't gonna even lie to you, man. Look at your old bald self on the camera and go to work.
Show these young cats how to release the ball the right way.
Hey, listen, wait a minute. If Drew gonna do a ball review, we gotta he need a disclaimer because it doesn't look like he has his thumb in the ball, but it is in the ball though.
No, I still don't believe he uses his thumb.
Yeah, I tried to drag Adam. Look, Tashawn said trying to drag Adam into it. Yeah, I tried to drag him into it.
I want to see this. I want to see the thumb hole. I don't believe it still.
Extreme Envy Black Widow 2.0, Solid Black Widow 2.0 Hybrid, Ocean Vibe Purple Hammer. That's Jeff's arsenal right there. That ain't bad. Jeff, I can steal a couple of those. No, I can't. And you should not put Extreme Envy on there, Jeff, because if Tashawn bring that to league tonight, I'm going to have to fight you.
What's wrong with the Extreme Envy?
Because because that's all he liked to throw, and he don't throw it very good either. Mind you, me to put it out there.
He needs to pin down.
That was another question. Somebody asked, pin up or pin down?
Adam's saying pin down.
If you need an Arctic vibe, if you get an Arctic vibe, you're going to want to use it all the time. I have to leave it at home, or that's the first ball I go to. You go ahead and bring that ball if you want to, Sean. You'll be bowling with the. Hey, you know what? Does anybody got Doug's number so we can call him to replace Sean tonight?
You better shine it up. You're going to play on your condition.
So, what'd you say? Pin up or pin down? Which one you like?
They're both good. Depends on what you want the ball to do.
Right.
Like for Deshaun, he needs to pin down Extreme Envy if he's going to play on your league shot.
Nah, he don't need all that. Chris said, I'll be there. That works. Okay, Drew said he got the number. Sean, you bring that ball if you want to.
What ball?
Huh?
What ball does he have?
What are you? Who? What is this on my TikTok screen? How are you asking me to?
Is it telling you that you've been inactive? TikTok likes to do that when you're doing these lives.
Yeah, but I ain't been in that. Well, I mean, I ain't did nothing. How you gonna tell me? Did they just kick me off? And it ain't even working.
I can see it on my screen.
All right, I'm back. Go get a TikTok with your bad self. And that's exactly where that ball should stay, in your guest bedroom.
What ball is that?
The Extreme Envy. What's the difference pin up, pin down? Smoothness. Pin down is smoother.
Why is that Mike Pro Shop guy?
Why is it smoother?
That's dirty.
Why is it dirty?
You know what? Go ahead, Mike.
What? What's dirty? What am I missing here?
When you see Adam and he's beat the hell up, you know who did it.
Oh God! Look, y'all can tell me if you think I'm wrong or not, but this is how I was always taught. So I was always taught with pin down, it shortened the core, which got it to rev up sooner, which caused it to use energy up front a lot quicker. So it became a little bit more archy down lane and a lot smoother. And then with pin up, it made the core taller and it took it longer to flip over, which means it got more length down the lane and it gave it a more angular motion.
Can't argue with that. So here's a question for you. Which ball goes longer, pin up or pin down?
That is relative to your axis point. So for me, pin ups go a lot longer than pin down.
And a cover.
I was getting ready to say that. You got to have that cover right, man. See, I got to be the only person like me. I'm taking 6 balls tonight. 5 because my spare ball, and all of them are over 6,000 surface.
I'll get it in a minute.
There's something about the Breakpoint's bluntness I like. I mean, what do you want us to do? Sugarcoat it? Well, okay, so here's what you got to do. Get the hell out of here with that, man. This is what we're going to do. All right, so before we get off, we're going to talk about one last little topic. This is near and dear to my heart. Coaching. Coaching. I gotta let people have it. Gotta let them. Okay, so there's 2 types of coaches out there. There's the first type of coach who goes to Kedgel or goes to one of the big academies or goes to one of the big ones, and they learn what they need to learn. And then there's the second kind of coach, the guy who goes to the league, who averages a 200, who lines it with the wrong foot, but he's still trying to coach people.
Tony?
No, it was just an example. Listen to me, okay? When you're taking advice from someone on YouTube, please promise me you'll know who the person is that you're taking the information from. That's the biggest thing in the world, because and I stress this, and people think that I'm over exaggerating. It takes a long time to break a bad habit. It takes a lot of drill work to break a bad habit. And coaches will, if somebody's not a coach, they'll give you this information, right? And I'm sorry, Corey, I'll read that in 1 second. And they can give you what they know. That doesn't make it the right information. Somebody who learns something from a bowler who averages a 220, so misconception. A guy goes to a bowling alley. He wants to learn how to bowl. He joins a league. He sees a guy averaging a 215. He says, okay, that's a guy. That guy tells him a bunch of information. And Mike, you know what I'm saying. That guy doesn't know bowling. He knows how he bowls. So he processes that information to the next guy. So the guy wants to quit because his wrist is hurting, his hands hurting, his elbows hurting, because it wasn't the right information. That's what I'm saying. Now, am I knocking your boy for helping you out? No. But if you want the right information, see a certified coach, somebody that took the time to go to the school to learn the information and learn how to not only learn it, but to implement it to someone. When you see a coach, believe it or not, I coach a lot of people, and a lot of people don't know this about me. If I'm going to coach you, I write a plan down for you. There is a plan, a start and a finish. 9 out of 10, when I'm coaching you, I'll start from the foul line and work my way back. People don't understand why, because we can get all the bugs out that way. But there's a plan. So any coach who doesn't have a plan for you probably isn't the coach for you. Does that make sense to everybody? So, do you have anything to say about that, Adam? I know you probably got some questions.
Ooh. I agree with what you're saying about the plan. However, the person getting the information from location A versus location B, I don't think that makes any difference at all.
It depends on where location B is.
Well, I mean, location B could be everywhere.
Everywhere don't have the proper information. For example, cup your wrist. That's from B. Is that the right information?
No, but here's the thing. You can learn cupping your wrist is a negative from more places than just Kegel or X training school.
I concur, but listen, dude, there's like 7 different schools that you can go to around the country.
Right.
There just is. And I'm not saying every certified coach is a good coach either. You didn't hear me say that, because it doesn't take a rocket scientist to do an open book. Sorry, it just doesn't. If you took a test in school, well, here's a question for you. Would you want a doctor to operate on you that you knew used the open book to pass all his tests? I wouldn't.
What's the doctor's experience level?
It doesn't matter if you have 2 doctors. One graduated from Johns Hopkins and the other one graduated from Stanford. The one from Stanford used an open book. The one from Johns Hopkins actually took the test, passed the test, and did everything on his own.
But what's the experience level of the surgeon?
They both got 5 years, and one's graded an A, one's graded a B. Or a C, or whatever.
So there's too many variables here when you talk about doctors versus coaches.
We'll get into that part another day. But what I'm saying is this: getting the right information is important. Sometimes getting a second opinion is okay to do. Mm-hmm. If somebody teaches you to do something and it causes you pain in any way, get a second opinion, because bowling shouldn't be painful.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. And don't be afraid to get a second opinion or ask. And here's another thing, guys. If a coach is telling you something, ask why. You can never be afraid to ask why. Because when a coach is teaching you something, he should be telling you not only what you're doing, but why you're doing it and what you're hoping to gain from it. You see what I'm saying? That way you have that clarity in your mind. Money Mike?
Hmm? Well, I always tell people you're going to have 10 million coaches in your ear at one point or another. Pick you 2 or 3 you trust the most.
I like that.
That's one of the things I've experienced in the shop is that same exact situation where a customer comes in and they get their information off of YouTube or they get their information off of a website. And it's not that the person saying it is always wrong, but it's also that they're not always right. I believe in it's how that information is being presented to you in a genuine fashion. And it's up to you as a customer to decipher which one, which person is the right fit for you, because a gold level coach is not always going to be the best scenario, whereas a bronze level coach could help you out as well. It's just find the match that works for you. That comes down to individual. It comes down to the individual in that case.
I agree with you
Sometimes,
100%.
sometimes the best coach, Joel, this is for you, is a couch coach. Sometimes the couch coach knows more than the guy from Kegel or from school X or from school Y.
And
So don't
sometimes that's
knock your
true.
couch coach.
And sometimes that's true too. I mean, those who can't do, coach. Bill Belichick.
True.
Right, eh?
I knew you were going to bring him up.
Can I give y'all an example, like for me personally in my experience?
Yeah, go ahead.
Probably about 10, 15 years ago, I had a guy that I could out average by 20 or 30 pins, but he still knew how to coach. He might not have been able to actually like fundamentally be sound or anything like that to where the numbers, basically, if you looked at it on paper, you'd be like, why are you listening to this guy? This guy only averages like a 195, and here you are averaging 210, 215. Again, it goes back to that individualism, picking somebody that is comfortable. And if the guy knows how to project his message to you that gets through for you to comprehend and understand, you'll listen to him regardless. And that's the same thing with this guy. This guy knew how to say where to make the move. He knew what kind of hand position. He knew what kind of cover. And again, it goes back to it. It's like whatever is comfortable for the person trying to get better.
Well,
So
I'll also piggyback off that. Also know the coach that you're going to see. For example, if you have a go coach and he does not coach the yo-yo release, and that's what you want to learn, that may not be the person you want to go to learn it. Just situational. Coaches are situational. And the question is, can you outgrow a coach? Absolutely. Absolutely. Sometimes the coach can only take you to this level, and then you have to go because you're plateauing. Does that happen? Yes. How does coaches feel about it? Sometimes they're not very happy, but okay, that's not your problem. Your problem is, would you rather make somebody happy or continue to progress in the sport in which you love?
If you outgrow that coach, that means the coach did their job.
absolutely.
Okay. So 2 questions right here. First question is, a silver coach taught me to cup the ball and lift. But that's an old school method. So if it happened 10, 15 years ago, I can understand why.
Yep.
If it happened last month, well, we got a little bit of problem there. It's a lot of problem. And then it says, how do you find a coach? I would say go to
That's $1 million
USBC.
question.
I would say go to I would say go to USBC and try to find a coach in your area. That way, go to usbc.com, type in coach. It gives you bronze, silver, blah 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 coaches in your area. Talk to your pro shop operator. I mean, they know the certified coaches around the area. And here's the funny part. Hate to say this and hate to miss the certified coach. The pro shop operators know who good and who ain't.
Yep.
They know who good and who ain't. They probably never tell you who ain't good, but what they will do is navigate you to the people that are. Is that true, Mike?
Mm-hmm. There's plenty of times and that's the good thing about the network that Bowling World is. We have so many multiple locations where if there's something that if I'm not if I do not have a strength of, it's more of a weakness as far as coaching, I will recommend them to one of our other guys that I know can help.
Oh, I think he got up.
Yeah.
What got you into coaching, Mike?
It kind of just fell into my lap. I was actually a junior coach. You know, my last 2 years of youth bowling, there's a point I was at where some of the coaches that were coaching us, I was out averaging by 10 or 15 pins. So they were like, you should be a junior coach. And that's kind of what kick-started my little coaching career, if you want to call it a career. That's where that came from. And then, of course, remember, like level 1, level 2, and then I finally got bronze.
Did you move on from bronze, or did you pause there?
I just stayed at bronze. It's so long ago when I got certified for bronze. I probably have to retake it again to get recertified, because I know they go for a certain amount of time before you have to renew them.
Mike's in a pro shop in Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
As long as he ain't in Alacucci, Alabama, we good.
Yeah, Bowling World in Huntsville, Alabama.
Huntsville.
Yep.
I don't know. Do I got
That's my boss's first location.
Do I got a reason to go to Alabama? Probably.
You do now.
No.
Let me tell you. Let me tell you. There is more. And I'm gonna say this the best I can. Where you guys are at, there's a lot more opportunity where y'all are at.
To do what?
Tournaments, pros, regionals. Dude, this is, again, and I say this respectfully. This is what Alabama is lacking. There's not a lot of regional, if any at all. There's a lot of there's just a lot of the Rome mentality. That's what I'm going to say.
All right.
No problem. Your own center, Mike.
No problem, baby golf. It was nice having you, and we're about to get off too because one of us got to go bowl tonight. So I got to eat something.
I got to league the secretary tonight too.
Hey Jeff, can you call who about some layouts? I mean, you can call Mike. I mean, you can call me. It doesn't matter.
See, that's the thing about it too. Is like, look, we all here wanting to help people. That's the number one thing.
Yep. Yeah. And thanks. Corey, you start league Friday night, huh? Man, I ain't bowling on a Friday night, man. I'll sub on a Friday night or something, but every Friday night, nah. I plan on bowling a regional and tournament, so I left my Friday nights open. Yeah, like I said, man, I do a lot of stuff in the pro. I go in and help Chuck out in the pro shop. I just, unless they're gonna sell it to me, I ain't trying to be in there. You know what I mean? Sell it to me. Let me go ahead and do what I do. That's what I'm talking about. If you message me on one of the social media stuff, I'll give you my information so you can reach out to me. So Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Instant Messenger, any of those, Jeff, you reach out to me, and then I can even shoot you in the way of Mike too, depending on where you're at in the country, if you want a little bit of help. It's all about growing the sport, man. That's all we're doing here is growing the sport. Now, the last part of this is we're actually going to start looking at other YouTube channels. We're going to start looking at them and breaking them down, see what we can see. Adam wants to do it. I don't, but I'm going to humor him.
That's the fun part for me. I get to do my analysis. I got a list of YouTube.
Yeah, I like the pain
creators
and bowl all the time, trying to get better. What kind of pain we talking about? All right, Drew, I'll see you in a little bit, man. We're going to jump off here again. I need to eat and say hi to my boys because they home from school, make sure that they good, had a good day, got a little bit of homework done. I'm Coach C. That's Coach Money Mike. That's Coach A from Alien, you know, the thing that jumped out people's stomachs.
Wow, it's like that.
Wow.
Okay,
Wow.
That was a good one. You got to admit that was a good one.
that was a low blow. Try to keep gloves up.
That was actually a good one. I mean, you're a movie star. How many Alien movies is it?
That was not a good one.
Should we keep? At least I ain't call you Jason Voorhees.
I think I would rather be Jason Voorhees than an alien that popped out of somebody's stomach.
Hey, I just seen the new movie, man. It was horrible.
That's what I keep hearing.
It was really not good. I mean, it was really, really not. Matter of fact, Bad Bad Bowling first movie thumbs up. I mean, thumbs down. I give him 2 of them. That was bad. It was.
Are we gonna do bad movie reviews? That would be.
Yeah, we are. That's gonna be our other podcast, Bad Movie Reviews. You in, Mike?
Oh man, that's all. I'm gonna leave that to y'all because I can't tell you how long it's been since I've actually watched a movie.
No, that's what we got to do. We have to watch the movie just to be critical of it.
Hey, if you don't mind here, I saw one of your comments on here that said they bowled in AMF Woodstock Lanes in Atlanta, Georgia, Woodstock, Georgia. Bowling World is actually the pro shop in that bowling center. Thomas Parker runs it. So if Red's still here, just to let him know, that's who runs that one in that bowling center.
Oh, yeah, Red said that. Hey, Red, are you still here? Because listen to what Mike said.
I don't know if he is or not, but yeah, that's Thomas Parker runs that Bowling World location in Woodstock, Georgia.
Is he good?
Oh yeah, Thomas is great.
Good. And then Corey said that he's located in Florida.
Hey,
there you go, Adam.
come to this place.
He said he's not a coach. He said he's not a coach, but he likes to help. And Red said yes, he knows him.
Yeah, check with old Thomas. He's good. He's really
he
good.
says he knows him. All right, guys, we're gonna jump off here. I gotta go ahead and do a bowl tonight. I don't know what I'm a bowl, but we're gonna find out. Cause and remember,
just want to say thanks for letting me come on the show, y'all. I really do appreciate it.
Oh no, I mean you got to come on with us regularly. And then, guys, I hope you put your number in the box where you needed to, because if you guess the right score when I shoot tonight, you get the mystery box from whatever line of ball you want.
Oh, they're picking the line? I thought it was just going to be a straight mystery box.
Nah, they get to pick the line. It's a mystery box in all the lines.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, it would be stupid not to do it that way.
Would it?
You know what? Hey, come on, man. Don't overcomplicate this shit.
That's what I do. I thought that's why I was here.
That is why you're here.
Right.
All right. So with that being said, we're an hour and something in. We're going to go ahead. Yeah, guess the series that I bowled tonight. Like I can bowl a 600, a 700, a 400, maybe a 300, depending on how I'm feeling. No.
687.
690. You better put that in the comments. You better go to community tab, put it in the comments.
Yep. Free ball, Mike.
Because I'll send you a ball down there to Raleigh, Alabama. I'll send you a ball. Matter of fact, I'll bring it to you personally.
There you go.
And put you on the channel and let me light you up. Me and you both.
It won't take much to beat me, bro.
That's the case. I'm gonna just send Adam down there. Then ain't no fun in that. All right, guys. Again, Coach A, Coach C, and Coach M. We out of here. Have a great day.
Thanks, y'all.
Hey, guys.
Have a good evening.
Just got booted from TikTok. Go.
I know. I just booted you. I just still killed it. Let me see the numbers on this thing. Did we do any good? 700 viewers.
What? Why do you say that as if that's not a big number?
It's not. I've seen bigger.
Compared to YouTube? What are the YouTube numbers? They ain't gonna be that.
I think we'll get there.
Eventually, but you're not gonna get there. Like, it's not gonna compare today.
No.
You get 700 on TikTok?
Dude, what the world?